going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a great weekend so far. Bitcoin is in fact above $10,000. We broke the 10,000 psychological barrier. You can see over here we got up to about 10,000, almost $200. Now, we have had a little bit of a mini pullback. We're kind of trying to push back down on the $10,000 level. Obviously, some people are just taking some profits right now. So let's say you're watching this video a few hours from the time I put it out and Bitcoin is below 10,000. It's a possibility, right? Should you freak out? No. $10,000 is a psychological level, right? It's just a nice round number, but Bitcoin has actually smashed through some really key resistances, and I do want to talk about the fact that on-chain investor activity actually says that the breakout recently is in fact the real deal. We're going to talk about that moving forward. Also, you're probably going to be hearing some FUD in the news coming up as the halving approaches about Bitcoin mining profitability and death spirals and all that other stuff. I'm going to kind of touch on that today because if Bitcoin even does stay at around $10,000 at the halving, a lot of miners are still going to be mining at a loss. What could that do to the Bitcoin price? We're going to talk about that as well. But on some brighter news, we do have investment management companies like VanEck now suggesting their 1% investment in Bitcoin, moving it up to about 3%. So the virus is spreading, guys. And that being said, if you are not subscribed to the channel, what are you waiting for? It's been an amazing month. And yeah, we do this every single day, almost every single day. Yesterday, I had a little bit of a busy day. I had stuff to do, but let's get in. Let's dive in. Oh, and today is the last day for the Ledger Nano S. If you're interested, drop a comment and I will pick a random winner tomorrow. Now, having a look at the Bitcoin dominance, still sitting almost around 64%. You will notice, though, if we do switch it to the Bitcoin comparative, kind of more mixed in the red, right? Because Bitcoin did start to kind of take some of those altcoin gains, but nevertheless, there are some altcoins doing quite well today. For example, Kick Token again with very low volume. I'd be careful with that one, guys. Molecular Future, Decentraland, Bitcoin Diamond, Tezos, Lisk, ABBC, Zella, Aeon. All right, that's enough for today. But you can see right here, Bitcoin was essentially bouncing around in this ascending wedge, which is typically a bearish pattern, but the bulls just said, you know what, screw you guys. We're pushing it up to 10K. We got above the heart line, got out of the upper part of the region. Even if we look at the lower time frames on the 30-minute, you can see where Bitcoin had this perfect bounce, literally this bounce right here at the top. So I mean, the bulls are in control right now, guys. The bears have been in control for about the past 6 to 7 months, and the bulls are finally taking the reign back.
Today's word of the day is moon. An expression used to describe a cryptocurrency or other asset that is experiencing a strong upward market trend.
But nevertheless, you cannot deny Bitcoin's amazing price action recently. In fact, I wanted to show you these two significant trend lines that we've been looking at for a long time on the channel. The first one being down here with this purple, almost legacy trend line that we had these three beautiful bounces off right down here. And the second, probably being the most important, was essentially when Bitcoin bottomed out after its massive November dump back here in 2018. This is where we bottomed out right here. And you could see that we tried to get above it right here as resistance, right? But once we finally did, we got above it. It acted as support. And then look right here, guys. We had a little bit of resistance and bounce. We have officially bounced off this trend that started all the way back at the bottom of Bitcoin in December when we had that 3.2K level, right? Now, realistically speaking, I do want to just remind everyone that Bitcoin is known for 20 to 30 to even 40% random flash crash pullbacks, right? That is possible. I just want to show you right here. We've had multiple pullbacks during the major bull run in 2017 to 20K. You can see we had 40%, 25, 36, 36, 31, 38, 38, 30. So is Bitcoin due for a pullback? Well, I mean, you could see we have once again gotten off of the uptrend. You know, we might come down here to retest the 9.8K, 9.5K levels. That is possible short term. And also having a look, we do know that the CME futures closed at $9,845 over the weekend. Remember, it doesn't trade over the weekend. So when we open, we're going to have a very big gap. Not like this little gap that we have back here around 8.5. We're talking potentially a big gap if Bitcoin doesn't push down to try to fill that. And you know, not saying that it will fill that, but I just want to keep you guys aware of the fact. But having a look at the overall structure, looking absolutely beautiful, well above the 200 daily, a nice, beautiful round. I mean, look at this. Look at that. Beautiful. Not like this crazy Bart Simpson pattern, you know, that we had right here, right? Beautiful. Beautiful recovery. I really can't think of any other word to say. But, you know, obviously we are still out. We're not out of the water just yet because I do have my eyes ultimately on this monthly level. Now, I really still think we need to close the month above, you know, sort of the 9.5K level. We do have a lot of weeks left in February, right? But short term, this is looking great. Also, speaking about what Willy Woo said, he says the breakout is the real deal. Fundamental investment activity is backing this 10K breakout. You can see right here, looking at on-chain investor activity, he basically points out right here, you have an on-chain trend reversal that precedes the top, but down here, he's basically saying it's mega bullish. Now, I'm not going to go into this crazy. You could just go to Wood Bull charts, okay? Just Google Wood Bull charts. He's got all of that. However, I do got to give him credit. He's been talking about this essentially since December, so that is definitely pretty awesome moving forward. And I also have to give a shout out to one other analyst, Philb, who had one of the most amazing 12-month forecasts for Bitcoin I've ever seen. Essentially right here, you can see he was calling this. I mean, this was way back in July. And if we fast forward right here, I mean, give or take a few ups or downs, he was basically dead spot on with the catch of the parabola. And just to point out, by the end of this month, he's calling for a potential $11,800 Bitcoin, right? And keep in mind, we do have a CME futures gap all the way up at around that level as well. So just wanted to point that out. Congratulations. Great call, man. But yeah, I mean, things are looking good so far for Bitcoin, and obviously just being realistic once again. I can't stress enough the importance of the 9.5K level right here. If we do maintain and close above that by the end of the month, then I definitely think this is 100% solidified, and it is time to get your rocket ship packed to the moon. Guys, big news, clearly. The Weiss crypto rating for Bitcoin is now an A- or an excellent, thanks to improving fundamentals and positive price action ahead of Bitcoin's next halving. While we appreciate that, Weiss, does anybody really care? Is anybody really paying attention to Weiss? But that being said, we do have 3 months until the halving. You can see right here, possibly going to have it even sooner because we do have hash rate absolutely skyrocketing. In fact, if I go to the all-time here, this chart will just absolutely blow your mind. I mean, clearly there is massive security on the Bitcoin network. This chart is definitely going to the moon. However, you have heard the potential death spiral talk, right? Okay, now listen. This article from Bitcoin says that to preserve the current levels of mining, Bitcoin market prices would have to be between 14,000 and 15,000. Miners right now break even roughly between 3,500 and 7,000 depending on electricity costs. But the Bitcoin network remains highly competitive, recently marking a 125 quintillion hashes per second as recorded activity levels. And I just showed you that with this insane chart above me right now, right? But here's the catch. With Bitcoin prices even around $10,000, even the S17 mining rig, one of the newest and most powerful, cannot break even at these prices after the halving. So the interesting thing is that miners are keeping up even if most of the rigs are not profitable. Now, this might be because they're anticipating, right? They might be mining at a loss right now in anticipation that Bitcoin is going to hit these crazy 20K, 50K, 100K levels in the future, right? They say a mix of low electricity costs, and already built-in farms may be boosting the activity ahead of the halving. On some days, for example, they say the network is making as much as 1,950 Bitcoin instead of the average 1,800. This means the halving will arrive a few days earlier than expected. Now, you could just Google what a Bitcoin death spiral is. It's basically a scenario where a large number of miners decides to stop mining at nearly the same time because the activity is no longer profitable. Now, just to point this out, we did have this sort of minor capitulation during this massive dip that we had right here at the end back in the November dump, right? Now, we had the same people calling for the same things, calling for the death spiral, Bitcoin difficulty adjusted. It was fine. Okay, so you're going to probably hear some people, you're going to hear people talking about this. It's fine. Don't freak out. This is what Bitcoin is designed to do, okay? I just wanted to kind of point that out moving forward. But guys, check this out. VanEck, New York-based investment management company, recently published a report regarding Bitcoin and its role in the market, right? That compares how different sorts of institutional investment portfolios performed from early 2012 to the end of 2019. You guessed it, out of the 6 possible scenarios, 3 included a small portion of Bitcoin. In fact, the best performing portfolios, according to them, were mostly equity, around 40% bonds, and 3% of Bitcoin. Now, keep in mind that they were previously sort of saying, 1% exposure. Now you're hearing 3% exposure, although really you should have been saying 3% when Bitcoin was at 3.2 because that's where the gains were really made. But nevertheless, imagine all of these millionaires that are talking to their, investment managers, speaking to their financial managers, right? And they're recommending Bitcoin exposure. Keep in mind, there's not enough Bitcoin for every millionaire to own one. So if you own even one Bitcoin, wow, just think about that. If you own 0.1 Bitcoin, just think about that moving forward. But got some funny news kinda. So apparently Bitcoin SV nodes are accidentally connecting to Bitcoin Cash nodes. The issue was brought to the attention of the devs last week. It was fixed, apparently. But according to the comment on GitHub, the Bitcoin Cash blockchain is longer, which sometimes fools the Bitcoin SV nodes when in safe mode. It automatically enters safe mode when it finds a longer but invalid chain. So what's the temporary solution? Now, force disable safe mode. Guys, I don't think I have to tell you, please stay away from, the scam Bitcoins. I mean, you can even see going over here, obviously today, Bitcoin SV is in the Bitcoin Cash is actually neutral today. But yeah, Bitcoin SV, I mean, guys, just stay away from that damn thing. If you want to try to trade it, have fun. You could probably get in on some pump and dumps, but long term, just do not invest. Do not hold Bitcoin SV, guys, okay? Just don't do it. Okay, so crypto lending platform Pornhub has become the first company to receive a license from the government of Hong Kong, a license that will allow the firm to expand its crypto lending services in the country. Following the receipt of the license, the firm now plans to partner with a leading US-based cryptocurrency custodian in a bid to offer insurance coverage on clients with Bitcoin assets worth up to $100 million anywhere in the world. I think we can end on that. I think that's enough bullish news for the day.
How many Bitcoins does it take to get some goddamn respect in this town?
So obviously remember that it is possible for Bitcoin to have a 20% to 30% to 40% potential pullback. However, in a bull run, which I do personally believe we are in a bull market, those tend to be very quick. We don't really stay down there for really long, and they just make great opportunities to buy the dip or put in a nice long. But that being said, that is it for me today. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. Bitcoin is currently trying to push back up. Could be totally different by the time you see this video. Do remember that today is the last day for the Ledger Nano S hardware wallet. If you are interested, drop a comment below. We will pick a winner tomorrow. That's it for me, guys. Thank you so much again for coming back to the channel. You guys rock. You're the reason that I do this almost every single day. I try my best. Some days I just simply can't. But that is it. Thanks again. My name is K-Dub. This is Crypto Zombie. Until next time, stay crypto. And of course,